NFL legend running back Marshawn Lynch just gave some huge praise to running back of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Harris. So, Marshawn Lynch, he appeared on the I Am Athlete podcast kind of interview to talk about the NFL, talk about running backs, and even talk about his personal life and what he's going through right now. So he's kind of talking about everything. And in that, he gave some huge praise to running back Najee Harris, calling him a top 5 running back in the NFL right now. So, here's that quote. "This ain't in no particular order, but Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Nick Chubb." So, that's some huge praise coming from Marshawn Lynch, because Marshawn Lynch was an elite running back for a lot of seasons during his career. Thinking back when he was in Buffalo, he started off his career very good, and then he went over to the Seattle Seahawks later in his career and won multiple Super Bowls with the Seahawks. So, we all know that one play where they passed the ball instead of run the ball on the 1-yard line. They had such a beast of running back and should have just handed it off. They would have won another Super Bowl. So we know how dominant Marshawn Lynch is. And him mentioning Najee Harris in his top 5 running backs speaks volumes. Because Najee Harris, it hasn't been really smooth sailing for him so far in his first 2 years. Yes, he led the whole league in touches in his first year and was kind of the focal point of the Steelers' offense. But in the second year, it was kind of a slow start. And in the first half of the season, he just didn't look like himself. So it wasn't really a smooth, consistent sailing for Najee Harris so far. But in the second half, yes, he started to pick up. And obviously, Marshawn Lynch sees Najee Harris, and he's the reason why the Steelers' offense even does anything. Because when we look at the Steelers' offense with Ben Roethlisberger in his last year, their offense was really struggling. Najee Harris was the only reason why their offense was even doing anything outside of Deontay Johnson. Without Najee Harris on that team, the Steelers' offense, they probably wouldn't have made the playoffs. We already seen that they struggled to make the playoffs and had to do it in the last game. So without Najee Harris, they probably would have came nowhere close. And even this season, with a rookie quarterback, Kenny Pickett, the offense was struggling, and we've seen the only reason why the Steelers even had a chance and was starting to win games at the late end of the season was because Najee Harris started looking like himself again, started being dominant, and hopefully the upcoming of Jalen Warren could ease the load off Najee Harris and he could be more successful in year 3. So, obviously Marshawn Lynch sees that Najee Harris is the main focal point of his team and his offense, and he's the reason why the Steelers even do anything. Yes, Marshawn Lynch left a couple great ones off this list, like Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. But the other running backs, for instance, Derrick Henry is the main focal point of his team. Saquon Barkley is the main focal point of his team. Josh Jacobs is kind of the outlier here because they have such a great offense with Devontae Adams and they're more pass heavy. So that's kind of an outlier. But Nick Chubb is also the focal point of their offense. So obviously, Marshawn Lynch is looking at players and saying, hey, these are the guys that are leading their team. Yes, when we look at Christian McCaffrey, they have a great defense. So it's kind of much easier for him. And they have a great offense. Yes, he's a great running back, but is he really the focal point of his team? Also, Austin Eckler, you could say that he's the focal point of his team, but when we look at Justin Herbert, we look at all their great wide receivers, their offense hasn't been really producing to much that we would expect. And also, when Marshawn Lynch was naming his top 5 running backs, even though he said it in no particular order, he did mention Najee Harris's name first. So obviously, that name rang a bell, and that's the guy he leaned towards. So, this might be 2 reasons. It might be because Marshawn Lynch and Najee Harris are very close. We see all the pictures that they take. We see how Najee Harris hangs out with him in the offseason, how he picks his brain, how he trains with him sometimes. So we've seen that they're very close, so we might have just put him on this list because he's a friend, or that he's really a focal point in the NFL, and in future years, if the Steelers' offensive line ever gets better, if the Steelers' offense ever gets better, it'll be scary for the league. We already see how dominant Najee Harris is, and Marshawn Lynch and Najee Harris run similar ways. They run to run through you. They don't run to go juke you, to go spin off you. They run to go truck you and get through you and get every extra yard they can. So they are very similar running backs, and maybe that's why Marshawn Lynch leans towards Najee Harris when naming his top 5 running backs in the NFL. So, let me know down in the comments below. How do you think of Marshawn Lynch's comments naming Najee Harris as a top 5 running back in the NFL? Do you believe that Najee Harris belongs in the top 5, or do you think he should be higher or lower on the list? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you like serious content, analysis, and reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post the next series video. Click the bell down below, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.